Hi, kindergartners. I have a story to share with you today, and it's from a series of books that I really enjoyed when my kids were little. It's called Franklin and the Tooth Fairy. You already know about Franklin? Yeah, it has some great stories and some great old shows if you ever get a chance to watch any of the old ones. Well, boys and girls, today I want to focus on a reading strategy or a skill for understanding. Good prediction, Ishi. You're right. Ishi predicted that I was going to ask you to do some predicting for me, thinking about what could happen in the story. Now, are all our predictions always correct? No, we're just thinking what could happen. But by going through that process and thinking about it based on what we know from the story, what we know from our own lives, and what we know from other stories, we can come up with some pretty good ideas to help us understand our story. And of course we want to read for understanding, because why would we read if we're not getting a message from it, right? That's why we do read, so that we can understand something. All right, here we go. Franklin and the Tooth Fairy. Well, I'm thinking about the title. I'm looking at the picture, and I'm thinking about it. Well, I know that when I was a little girl, if I lost a tooth, I couldn't wait to go to bed. Because if I put it under my pillow, then when I woke up in the morning, there was probably some coins. Sometimes there was $1. That was a really big deal. So I'm going to predict that Franklin is going to get a visit from the Tooth Fairy. And when he wakes up in the morning, there's going to be some money under his shell? Yeah, maybe under his shell. All right, let's read and find out. You make some predictions about what you think is going to happen. All right, here we go. Franklin could count by twos and tie his shoes. He had lots of good friends and one best friend named, you knew, Bear. Did you predict that from watching the show on television? Yeah. Franklin and Bear were the same age. They lived in the same neighborhood. They liked the same games. But one morning, Franklin discovered a way that he and Bear were different. Oh, that's okay. Sometimes we have things about us and our friends that are the same, and sometimes there's differences too. Waiting for the school bus, Bear put his paw in his mouth and wiggled a tooth back and forth. It jiggled, it wiggled, and then with a tug, it came out. Look at this, said Bear. I lost my first tooth. Franklin was startled. There was even a little blood on the tooth. That's terrible. How are you going to tell your mother? Bear laughed. Do you think that's terrible? Bear doesn't. He's laughing and smiling. Yeah. Daniel, did your tooth finally come out? I hope it did. I remember you were really working on that tooth back when we were in school. Maybe you've had it come out. My teeth are supposed to fall out, said Bear. It makes room for my grown-up teeth. Franklin ran his tongue around his gum. They were smooth and firm, completely toothless. Uh-oh. I don't have any teeth, said Franklin. It was Bear's turn to be surprised. Well, I just got surprised. I'm wondering if my prediction was a little bit off. If Franklin doesn't have any teeth, how's he going to lose a tooth and put it under his pillow like I used to? You better read on. Franklin's friends shook their heads sadly. Too bad, they said. Franklin wondered why. He had never needed teeth before. Bear wrapped his tooth in a bit of tissue and put it in his backpack. I need to keep this safe, he said. Pretty important to him. All the way to school, Franklin wondered why Bear wanted to keep his old tooth, especially if he was going to get brand new grown-up teeth. Now that was exciting. Why don't you want to keep your tooth? Asked Franklin. Excuse me, I need to reread that. It didn't make sense. Why do you want to keep your tooth? Asked Franklin. Won't you get a big one soon? All his friends looked at him with amazement. They're shocked. Yeah, look at that. They're sitting nicely on that bus, aren't they? They look nice and safe. Don't you know about the Tooth Fairy? Asked Fox. Franklin shook his head. At night, before you go to sleep, you put your baby tooth under your pillow. Then the Tooth Fairy comes and takes the tooth away, explained Fox. But that's stealing, said Franklin. Besides, what does a Tooth Fairy do with all those teeth? Guess Franklin's never heard about that before. There was a long pause. Do you remember what a pause means? Like nothing happened for a minute. Bear scratched his head. Fox swished his tail, and Rabbit twitched. I don't know, said Bear, but she always leaves something behind. One of her own teeth? Asked Franklin. Everybody laughed. Oh, Franklin, said Fox, the Tooth Fairy leaves a present. Franklin wondered what kind of present a Tooth Fairy would leave. Lots of wondering going on in this story. I hope I get some money, said Bear. When I lost my first tooth, I got a new book, said Raccoon. I got crayons, said Fox. Franklin rubbed his gums. He wished he had a tooth to leave for the Tooth Fairy. He wanted a present, too. I can imagine that. Bear showed his tooth to Mr. Owl as soon as he got to school. Owl was very excited. Losing your baby teeth means you're growing up, he said. Franklin did not say anything. He had no teeth, but he wanted to feel grown up, too. Franklin was quiet for the rest of the day. I think that reading that Franklin was quiet makes me get a hunch that he's feeling kind of sad. Sometimes when I'm feeling sad, I get a little bit quiet because I'm thinking real deeply about things. Even at home, Franklin was quieter than usual. What's wrong? Asked Franklin's mother. I don't have any teeth, he answered. Neither do we, said his father. That's the way turtles are. I want teeth, said Franklin. His parents looked surprised. Lots of surprising things happening in this story. My friends get presents from the Tooth Fairy when they lose their teeth, said Franklin. Why do they get presents for old teeth? Asked Franklin's father. Because it means they are growing up, said Franklin. I see, said his father. Dad just looks kind of wise there, doesn't he? That night, just before bed, Franklin had a good idea. Perhaps Tooth Fairies did not know that turtles have no teeth. He found a tiny white rock to put under his shell. He asked his mother to help him write a note. It read, Dear Tooth Fairy, this is a turtle tooth. You may not have seen one before. Please leave a present. Franklin. Uh-oh. Franklin, are you telling the truth? I don't think it's going to go well if you try to trick the Tooth Fairy. What do you predict or think? Probably not the best idea. Franklin woke up very early the next morning. He looked under his shell. The rock was gone, but there was a note instead of a present. He ran to his parents' room. What does it say? He asked. Franklin's father put on his reading glasses. Dear Franklin, sorry, turtles don't have teeth. Good try. Your friend, the Tooth Fairy. Ooh. Do you think Franklin was a little embarrassed because he tried to pull one over on the Tooth Fairy? Oh, Franklin was very unhappy until he noticed a big wrapped package near his breakfast bowl. Open it, said Franklin's mother. Inside was a beautiful book. Who is it from? Asked Franklin. From us, said his parents, to celebrate your growing up. Franklin stood very tall. Thank you. Look at he looks happy now, doesn't he? From then on, Franklin didn't worry about being different from Bear. He knew that in all the important ways, he and Bear were exactly the same. Wow. No wonder we like these Franklin stories so much. There's so much to learn from them. Franklin learned that being dishonest doesn't really help, does it? Yeah, trying to trick the tooth fairy to get a present didn't work out well. There we go. What else did he learn? Yeah, he learned that it's okay to be different from your friends. Boys and girls, that's something I enjoy so much about you guys. You're all so different in our class. Yeah, there are some things that we're alike. You're right, we all do enjoy recess. Yeah, right? And we all do kind of get excited for the most part when we sing some of our favorite songs in school. Most of us like a good treat at the end of the day. That's true. I know, I remember that. Yeah, we wouldn't run out of time if we got all our work done. Yeah, we are alike in a lot of ways, but you're so different too. I love so much the different things about you. I love how some of you are so full of energy and excitement. I love how Jason gets so excited when we do something neat. And I really love how some of you are calm, deep thinkers. Yeah. Caden's often so quiet, and Luigi, yeah, they're very quiet, but they're always thinking. I notice that about them. It's different, but it's really neat. Yeah, that's true. Nora E. loves to sit and draw and put a lot of time into her pictures. She does. But I can always count on Selma to be quick and get things done and be ready to help others. So they're both so different, but they're both very good things. Well, boys and girls, I hope that you celebrate and enjoy the things in your life that are different, that are your special gifts that you have to help other people with. All right, you take care.